Morning everyone. Just like to pre-tense this that if I start to get a little tear or something, I'll get through it. Just give me a little bit of time. I'd just like to start PJ, if you weren't fortunate enough to know well, one of the nicest people that you could possibly ever imagine to live, lit up any room he was in, whether he meant it or not. I've known him since he was a young boy. I've played water polo with him growing up, and he's loved many sports, rugby, water polo, cricket, you name it. Always there to have a beer after work, and most importantly, always there to talk, always there to support. I would just like to remind everyone that he was actually the first person to ever use one of our Sky Mastercards. There was a picture of it at the last Flexi Focus. He looked like a bloody goon, like he always did. And that's something that I think we should always hold for that card. So where do we go from here? Do we let him become another statistic? Or do we take something from it? Simon, in one of his earlier email releases, has mentioned that one in five persons every year will experience a form of mental illness. It can be such a silent killer, and if no one speaks, no one really knows about it. That could be someone at work today who doesn't feel they have the courage to be able to talk about some of their inner demons. So I thought to myself, considering that a goal for Flexi in 2018 is to try and start a dialogue, break the stigma that it ain't weak to speak, I would speak about some of my battles with mental illness. It is one of the 5 Flexi DNA behaviours to act courageously with credibility, particularly with courage. I represented Australian water polo. It was a time in my life I was incredibly proud of. It gave me focus, it gave me drive. From there, I've looked at other things to get me through the days. That was my university and that was my work. However, there were times where I felt inadequate. What I was doing, it wasn't enough, it didn't mean anything, and it was tough to wake up every day and I wasn't really sure what I was striving for. And that's the problem with mental illness. For some, it could be so trivial as the issues I had, and for some it can be unbearable. The turning point for me was the ability to be able to come out and speak to someone. I got the courage, and it sounds silly enough, to even just speak to my mum. I told my mum how I felt inadequate. I told my mum how I felt there were points where I wanted to end it all. And it sounds extreme, but there were days I didn't feel why I would bring my head off the pillow. Just being able to speak about it with her made it so much easier. Many hands make a lighter load. It's such a crucial thing with something like mental illness. I got counselling. I spoke to a psychologist, and they made me realise what life's really worth. And the thought that you don't realise how many people you affect, indirectly or directly. Seeing the amount of people that were at PJ's funeral, I don't think he ever would have realised how many people he touched. It makes it so much harder that he's gone. But in saying that, we move forward without PJ, but with a message, and we take something from his death. I'd like to say to everyone here, I implore you, reach out if you need to. No one wants you to suffer in silence. No one. If you don't want to speak to a family member, if you don't want to speak to a friend, if you don't feel that's the way you'd like to do it, speak to a counsellor. Flexi Group have their own counselling service, Optum, the EAP service. And if it's you in particular that needs the help, speak to them. If it's a direct family member that needs the help, they can speak to them too. They will speak to you with the shoulder to cry on if you need, and will help you. Living has also been an incredible thing for me to find. I spoke with Sam. Is it Sam? It's Sam. And his goal and passion to break that stigma of, it's weak to speak. It speaks to me so deeply, and it's something that I know Flexi will continue to cherish that relationship for years to come. I would also like to say that Flexi Group is talking with Living about running Living Well workshops for all our employees in April, so keep an eye out for that. We'll be running special training for our managers about how to support employees who are facing challenges in mental health, and again, broaching that conversation without feeling confident, without not wanting to speak about it, or just push it away or under the rug. More details about these workshops will be available in the next few weeks. In finishing, I'd like to say, PJ, rest in peace. I hope that for the days that we live moving forward, we take a message. We take his life and we take the good out of it. His smile, his caring nature, his will to want to help others before himself. And we say we don't need to speak. Thank you.